here. Okay, so everyone, welcome to the call. My name is Kara Murphy. I am an Ambassador Diamond, and we just got back from conference, and Jessica and Danielle, they've always been such inspirational teammates, but they were doing something particularly inspirational this weekend, and I really wanted them to share it with you because I learned a ton, and I just really admired how dedicated they were to waking up early, even though we all stayed up way too late. They would still get up early and do this, and so I hope that these are going to be really good tips for you. The book that this is based on is called My Miracle Morning, and I went ahead and pulled out a couple of things from this book, a couple of quotes that I wanted to read you guys. So, that's not the right one. Sorry, just a second. So the first quote is actually a Jim Rohn quote, who is also a great person to look up for personal development. But he said, "Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development because success is something you attract by the person you become." And I want to put this in perspective for a minute. I started with It Works in 2013. And what I expected at that time was a couple $100s a month. That's what I expected. That's what I hoped for. We were living off of one income, and basically we would spend everything trying to pay bills, student loans, this and that, and we'd really have no money left at the end of the month. And we always found ourselves in that position month after month after month. That's what we expected. If at that very day that I had signed up for It Works, somebody would have dropped me into the Millionaires Club, or somebody would have dropped me into a conversation with people who are super successful and make a lot of money and sell a lot of products, I would have been lost, right? Because I wouldn't have expected that. I wouldn't know what to do with that. And so this is so important that we talk about personal development, whether you're brand new or whether you've been doing this for a while, because I truly believe that what you expect is what you get back in return. And so you have to start training your brain to expect a little bit more. For those of you who watched or were at conference this weekend, Denise Walsh, who is a Black Diamond, the top of the company, she had everybody in the stadium, 20,000 people, close their eyes and imagine that they were sitting or they were standing on the edge of a huge building. Just for a second, just feel wherever your feet are. Pretend like your feet, your toes are dangling over the edge, and you're kind of like teetering back and forth. You can almost feel it, right? Her point was that our brains do not know the difference between what we are visualizing and what is really happening to us. And the important part of that is, if you can visualize being successful, if you can visualize successfully blitzing someone, if you can visualize successfully signing up a new distributor, if you can visualize making $500 or $10,000 a month, your body and your mind starts to accept that as your reality. So imagine that if you want to get our Go Fast bonus, and let's say you want to do it in 3 months, that's $10,000. Right now, can you visualize that? Or do you have an expectation of being in debt forever? And if you have that expectation of being in debt, you are doing yourself a huge disservice, right? Because you are not putting yourself out there with confidence. Here's another way to say it. If you expect to be in debt, then you feel comfortable talking to other people who expect the same thing. That's not going to attract runners to your team. That's not going to attract good teammates. But if you expect to make $10,000 in 3 months and you know you can do it, well, then you're going to start attracting people who know they can do it too. So that's why personal development is so, so important. Let me read a couple of other things that I have. I wrote down, your life is just a mirror. Are you reflecting what you want to see? So when you're reflecting negativity, I can't do this, I'm too shy, I'm too nervous, my team won't work, then you are basically getting back what you're putting out, right? You have to dedicate time to yourself each day so you can become a person who can sustain that dream life that you want. I want to read a couple more quotes, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jess because she's going to actually tell you what you can do inside this book, the actual steps. So again, the book is called My Miracle Morning, or The Miracle Morning. Sorry, I keep calling it My Miracle Morning. Another part that I pulled out, I loved this. If all your friends are generally happy and optimistic people, then you are going to naturally become more happy and optimistic just by being around them. If all of your friends are successful and earn over $100,000 a year, even if you enter their circle earning far less, you will automatically be pulled up by their level of thinking and influenced by the habits they've established. So all of us have friends and family who have not been supportive. I have. The first 2 people that I went to said, no way, I'm not buying anything, I don't want to do this. You have to think that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Super important. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I'm not telling you to go out and ditch your best friends and your family. I'm not telling you that. What I'm saying is, if you want to see yourself and if you want to be at a certain level, then you are going to find people who are at that level to surround yourself with. If you want to be good at blitzing, you're going to find someone who's good at blitzing to teach you. If you want to be good at parties, you're going to find that. If you want to be making $10,000 a month, you are going to make sure you're asking that person for tips. You are going to put those people in your circle. So important. So on the flip side of that, he said, it is often said that misery loves company, but so does mediocrity. Don't let fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs of others limit what's possible for you. So when you have someone say, oh my gosh, there's no way you're ever going to do that, you can't let that determine your fate, right? Because you will hear that. You will hear the word no, and you will hear people who don't believe in what you're doing. So I think that's all I want to say. It's been a huge personal growth development for me the last 4 years. I'm so glad I'm not in that position of expecting debt and expecting not to have enough money anymore, but it's taken a lot of practice to train my brain. In fact, today, the thing that I was thinking the most, the people who throw me off track are my children, right? I can be in this perfect, focused mood, and then my kids are having a bad day and they want to whine or they want to fight. And I've accepted that as my new challenge. No matter what they're doing, I have to stay focused and stay positive, and that helps me be the best mom I can be as well. So look at distractions as a challenge, because distractions are going to come up. They're going to come up. So Jess, I want to turn it over to you, and I don't think you're going to introduce yourself properly. Should I introduce you?
You don't think I'm going to introduce myself properly?
I'm just going to see what you say because I just love your story and I want to make sure you give people a good perspective of where you started from. So
okay. All right. So my name's Jess Euler. I am a future presidential diamond. How's that? Triple diamond right now. And so I started in 2013, enrolled personally by Kira, and the reason why I am so passionate about personal development is because I started from a place where, I would never be on a call like this. I would never be talking to someone on the phone. I would never leave my house, let's be honest. So, and people that knew me then are just constantly amazed by what I do now because because now I feel, I am confident, I am a leader, I am motivating, I am all of these things. And I fully believe that it's because of this business, and it's because of personal development, and it's because of the personal growth that I have been able to put into my life that has shaped me into who I am now. So, was that a good introduction? Okay, good. All right, so we, Danielle and I, she's my right-hand man. She's my first distributor. She's my best friend. We have been working really hard lately on our personal development. And so we wanted to share with you guys a little bit today about what we've been doing and kind of how it's been so life-changing for us. So we've been reading this book. I was introduced to The Miracle Morning probably just a few months ago. And so I immediately got it and started reading about it because, you know what, I needed a little bit of a boost in my personal development, and I needed to get out of the, we need to be constantly learning and moving and working. So I needed to get out of the little rut that I put myself in my personal development. So this was a new way that I was able to do that. And I immediately introduced it to my team, and they've picked up and run with it as well. So basically what we're going to do right now is the Miracle Morning is set into 6 simple steps that you're going to do every day. And to me, when I first heard this, I felt like, oh my gosh, 6 things I have to do every day. Can I just listen to a YouTube video? But combining all of these things together has really made the impact in my life. And it can take as little as 6 minutes, and it can take as long as you want it to take. And so I'm going to share with you, like between Danielle and I, we're going to share with you each of these 6 steps. And I hope that you would write them down, try to remember them so you can kind of figure out where you're going to fit best in your personal development and, really push yourself to get to somewhere really great. So the 6 steps spell out SAVERS. So SAVERS. And so we're going to kind of go through each of those steps. And I'm going to have Danielle here on as well because she is so incredible at all of these things. And she, we've kind of been leaning on each other, and she's taught me so much about it. So I'm going to hand it over to her actually to introduce the first step.
Hey guys, I'm Danielle. Jess and I were introduced to this like 3 months ago on an actual Zoom call with another leader. And we both were just like, oh my gosh, this is like completely life-changing. So anyway, so the first S stands for silence. And what you do in this is basically you're going to meditate, you're going to pray, you're going to do, whatever like spiritual things that you, sorry, my son's little toys. Anyway, you're going to do, whatever you need, whatever spiritual things that you do. So if you pray, you're going to pray. I meditate and I pray in the morning. I pray, thank you for this great day that that I have again to chase after my dreams. Thank you, for the people that are going to come into my life today that I'm going to help with this business or, these products, and then I usually just ask for, focus on my business, just stuff like that. So that's silence. So, and that's all I do. And like Jess said, it could take a minute, it could take 5 minutes, whatever time that you have that morning, that's how fast it can go. So that's S. So then Jess will do A.
Okay. So the A in our SAVERS stands for affirmations. And this is something I'm super, super passionate about. So basically what an affirmation is, if you have never done this or heard of it, it's basically the thoughts that you have and the things that you say. That's what an affirmation is. So that can be positive or it can be negative. And that's why we are, we're going to focus on some positive affirmations to kind of bring some more things like that into our life. And these words and these thoughts have so much power over us. They have so much power to change our situation, to create our life. And, you know, we have that power. Like, each of us has that power. So if you're not in the place that you want to be, you have the power to change it, and you're the only person standing in your way. I heard this analogy the other day, and I really, really loved it. If you go to the store and you buy a Beyonce CD and you take it into your car and you put it in your CD player, what's going to play? Beyonce is going to play, because nothing else is recorded on that CD except Beyonce. So you're not going to hear the Backstreet Boys on the CD. You're going to hear Beyonce, right? So, and there's no other option. You don't have another option for something else to happen. So the only way that you're going to hear something else on the CD is if you take it home and you record over the top of it. You're going to have to record over the top of it, put something over the top of it, and then you can listen to something different. So I like to think of that analogy when I think about affirmations, because, you know, if you grew up in a home where your parents were, you know, poor, they were always living paycheck to paycheck, they were always, you know, worried about money, then that's what's recorded on your CD. And that's what's going to happen to you in your life unless you take the time to record over the top of it. And so I love that. Like, you know, if your parents are always saying, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck your entire life. You know, money's just hard to come by. There's not enough for everyone. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere else. So if you sit here and you're recording over your CD and you're saying, money comes easily to me, I now allow myself, I love that, I now allow myself to make this much per month. I am constantly surrounded by the energy of abundance. I mean, these are just a few things that are going to bring that into your life. And that is the power that you have. So, you know, affirmations are not something that you just say once a day and you're just over it and you say it, mark it off your list, and you're done. It's something that's going to be constantly running through your mind. For example, I used to be extremely introverted and shy and not really able, I didn't let myself be able to talk to new people or to get over that extra, you know, whatever. So I started saying to myself, I am confident, I am excited, I want to talk to people, I meet new people all the time. And while that was not true for me at that moment, I opened up that new exciting idea for myself. And so now that's something that just comes easily to me because I believed it and I recorded that on my CD. And so that's what I lived up to. So I am super passionate about affirmations. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Danny for V.
Okay, so V is for visualization. So what I do for this is I write down my top 10 dreams or my top 10 goals. When I started doing this, I did it just for this year. But last week before I went to conference, I changed it and started doing it for like my overall lifelong dreams. So what would my perfect life be like? So I wrote those down in 10 things. So how I do this is I write it in past tense as if it has already happened. So a couple examples of mine are, I am an ambassador diamond. Another one is I retired Tim from his full-time job. We are debt-free. We have $100,000 in our savings account. We bought a truck. I am the healthiest I've ever been, and I look and feel amazing. I have built my business so strong that now I never lose rank. We travel so much and have made so many amazing memories together as a family. Tim and I have a strong and happy marriage. And the last one is we bought our dream home and it has everything that we have ever wanted. So those are my top 10. Those are the top 10 my dreams that I have. So when I visualize, I write them down and I as I'm writing them down, I visualize how I feel, how I would feel in that moment, what it would look like for us as if it's happening. So as an ambassador diamond, I picture, me going ambassador, the day that I go ambassador, and how that feels. I think, how would ambassador leader act? Things like that. How would it feel to have my husband home? How would it, how do I feel? So I'm getting, the more specific that you can be and like really feel this, like feel it, the faster that you're going to bring it into your life. So, and I'm with my Miracle Morning, I am just very, I put a lot of gratitude into it. So after I write these 10 things down and visualize them, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, 3 times out loud to the universe, for bringing these things into my life as if they've already happened. And like I said, the more that you visualize, the more that you spend on them, time that you spend on them, visualizing them as if they're happening, the faster that the universe will bring it into your life. So I just love visualization. Sometimes I'll spend like 15-20 minutes on that, just with my eyes closed on my couch, just picturing my perfect life and being so thankful for it as if it's already happened. So that's the
Isn't she awesome? When I thought of visualization, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and think about whatever. And just like the idea of writing, it makes me so excited. This morning I was doing my visualization and I was writing about, I have my dream home and whatever. I got so carried away because I like to write. I got so carried away that I'm sitting here writing page upon page in my journal exactly where my kitchen is, exactly what this looks like, what my car looks like, whatever. And I'm like excited, way excited.
I have a paper that I typed up of my dream house. So like from like the minute you walk in the front door, what's on the left, what's on the right, like where my bedroom is. Like, so when I visualize that, I see that house. We have a pool in the back. Like that's how specific you want to get with these visualizations. You want to see every small little detail. I know exactly what furniture I want in my house, what what it's going to look like. Like that is what we're talking about with visualization, and just knowing that it's going to happen and just being confident and knowing that the universe is going to bring it into your life. So yeah, so I just had to tell you about my dream.
So awesome. Light bulb for me. I knew she had to talk about it. Okay. The next one is E, and E is for exercise. So no, I'm not telling you to do a full-blown exercise right in the morning when you're waking up. But for me, because I do exercise, I go to the gym, but I go in the afternoon or the evening. So in the morning, when I'm doing my exercise portion of my Miracle Morning, I am, I'm stretching, I am moving around, maybe I'll do a little Pinterest workout, I'll do some sit-ups, I'll do some push-ups, I'll do something that's going to really wake up and energize my body, because I wake up early, you guys. I don't want to admit how early I wake up because it's so early, because I get so excited about what I'm doing, and I get so excited about this personal development, and then it's embarrassing. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every morning, and I wake up and I wake up immediately because it's not always easy. Lori, I love you. It's not always easy to wake up. I mean, there's so many people who have a tough time waking up in the morning. So I get up, I go in my office, I flip on the light, I just do it. I splash water on my face if I have to. I brush my teeth if I have to. And I'm up and I'm ready to go. So when I'm doing my exercise, I'm just trying to energize and juice up my body so that I'm ready for the day. I'm now excited. My body's awake. My mind's awake. And it's so important to do that in the morning. Otherwise, you're doing your visualization, you're sitting there, you're closing your eyes, and you're falling asleep. That's not what we want. We want to be excited. So E is for exercise. And then I'm going to go to the next one because I want Danny to talk about the last one. So the next one, the R, is for reading. We want to be constantly learning new things. We want to be constantly growing our minds and growing our, personal development. So I encourage you to all the time be reading new personal development books and, reading to them, listening to them, watching YouTube videos. All of these go under the category of reading. I heard once that if you want to be a self-made millionaire, you need to be reading 2 personal development books a week. Crazy. But I tell you, I like to listen to my books on Audible. And so it's just something that I listen to in the morning. Sometimes I'll do it while I'm exercising. I listen to books when I'm in the car, traveling to and from places. I listened to personal development on my way home from an event today. I really love just, especially when that author is reading it, because you can hear that passion and that excitement in their voice. And, I get so excited about it. I have read so many books over and over and over again because of, and I learn new things all the time. So I just love it. So you want to be constantly reading things. Somebody just said, "You Are a Badass." That's my favorite personal development book. I've read it probably 10 times and I learned something new every time because it hit me really hard. Because I did not feel that way about myself. And so she's it's like The Secret slammed in your face. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, trying to read these comments at the same time. But anyway, so I love, constantly learning and reading with personal development. So that's that.
Okay, and then the last S is for scribe. It stands for scribe, which is just journaling. So writing in your journal. And this part, I have never been like a diary keeper or written down. I never saw the importance of writing down your feelings each day, what happened the day before, or, how you feel or whatever. But in this book, he says, he goes back at the end of the year and he reads every day his journal entries, and is amazed at from day 1 to day 365 how much growth he's done. And he says, so I keep them because I like to see that growth in myself, which is so cool. I mean, wouldn't you want to look back? I mean, I look back at Jess and myself. We were the same person, very shy, very timid. We went to high school together, and we were friends and acquaintances, but we weren't like good friends because we were both so shy to even talk to each other. And so for us to be on this call hosting, it is huge for us, so I look back at that. But just to have the details of every day, oh, this is what I went through this day and this day and this day, and I overcame it. So that's cool. So I usually just will write down how I'm feeling that day. If I'm feeling in a slump or whatever, I'll write it out and then I'll be done. So I'll vent it out and then I'll move on and be fine. But then with this also, what I write is I read the book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, who also writes The Secret. She did The Secret. And this book completely changed my whole life. It is just amazing. So it's a 28-day step process. It's a 28-day step process. So you do it's an activity every single day. And so for the first one, the very first day, she introduces counting your blessings. So what I do for journaling is I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And I try and do new ones every single day. So the first week or 2 weeks is super easy because you're like, oh, I'm grateful for, my house. I'm grateful for a car. I'm grateful for, these little things. But then after 2 weeks trying to get new ones, you're like, you really have to be deep in thought about what you're grateful for, little things. So I write down the 10 things. After I write those 10 things down, I go back and read through them, and I say thank you, thank you, thank you after each one. And I feel as grateful as I can for that thing. So like an example is, I know there's a lot of moms on here. The other day I was grateful for diapers, which, okay, like diapers are great, but like you really think about how amazing diapers are. You feel so grateful that you have diapers. Like if you are a cloth diaper person, whatever you are, like diapers are seriously so amazing. So I feel like so grateful for diapers, because like if we didn't have diapers, they would just be like rabid animals pooping everywhere and peeing everywhere in your house. And that's just like not okay. So I just thought it was so small, but just feeling that gratitude towards it is just gonna, change your life. Gratitude will change your life, and it will make the law of attraction work. If you are grateful for what you have, you will be given more. If you're not grateful for what you have, even what you do have will be taken from you. So anyway, that's what I do for scribing.
Awesome, you guys. I loved all of that. If we're going to open it up for questions here in a second, but I just want to say, well, first I want to say sorry for my son dancing around naked in the background. Hopefully y'all missed that. This is what I mean. Like you can be like meditating or doing your affirmations, and of course, one of your children will come in and completely shatter that. So a couple things I wanted to say on what you guys were saying. I listen to Tony Robbins a lot on YouTube, and he said once that he, of course he has bad days, of course he has things happen that, make him down, but he gives himself 90 seconds to feel bad. He gives himself 90 seconds to wallow in self-pity, and then he's done with it. And that's been a really helpful practice for me. Like something comes up and I'm like, all right, 90 seconds, feel sorry for yourself. Now you're done. Now it's time to get back to work. It's time to start, feeling how you were feeling before. So whatever comes my way, I do that. During the scribe section, I saw something, I don't remember where, Facebook somewhere, where people were taking a jar, and each day you drop in that jar whatever it is, your a couple of journal lines and the date. Maybe it's your affirmations for the day, maybe it's your goal for the day, maybe it's your hopes and your dreams. Of course, hopefully positive and helps you move forward. And then at the end of the year, you read all of those and you've got 365 days of amazing hopes and dreams and affirmations. So that could be a really fun thing to do. When Jessica was talking about exercise, another thing that Tony Robbins says he does without fail, even if he's had, 4 hours of sleep, he makes himself get up early and he makes himself take a cold shower, which sounds awful. And I have not yet tried it. But his thought behind it is both to wake himself up and to make himself feel uncomfortable. And he says, if I can make myself feel uncomfortable a little bit for 30 seconds, then I know no matter how uncomfortable I am the rest of the day, I've already conquered that in the morning and I'm done with it. So just a thought. If somebody wants to try that, let me know how it is. Lori, I vote you. The other thing I want to say is that, guys, you're listening to this call. It's really easy to get off this call and let it just disappear from your mind. I don't know how to get through to you that this is something that has to happen on a daily basis. It's hard at first. It's hard to make yourself be positive if you're not used to being that way. It's hard to make your brain convince yourself that you are debt-free when you're probably, if you're piled in bills. That's hard. It takes practice. Anything done for 30 days in a row becomes a habit. So if you can make yourself do this for 30 days, it's going to become part of your lifestyle. And I guarantee you're going to be feeling better in 30 days if you are doing this. And the last thing I want to say before we open it up to questions is, we've mentioned a bunch of different books. Please make sure you read or watch The Secret. That was the very first movie I ever watched when I got in this business. And the first time I watched it, it didn't really click with me. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh. And then the third time I was like, oh, okay, I got it. All of this stuff, the first time you hear about it, it's not really going to make sense. Keep coming back to it. Keep watching and listening and reading. And the thing I loved most about that movie is what Danielle was saying. Danielle was saying how she pictures her exact house that she is going to live in. And one of the guys on the movie, it's like my favorite part of the movie. He said several years ago he'd had this dream board and he'd cut a picture of a house out of a magazine. That dream board got packed away. He moved another time. And then now he is unpacking this box and he pulls it out, and he said his son watched him pull it out. He says, "What's this, Daddy?" And the guy just breaks down crying, because not only did he just move into his dream house, he just bought that exact house that he had pinned on his dream board. So in his subconscious, he had this house. And even though it had been several years later, he'd found it and he bought it. So it's just to, that's just to show you the power of our minds and what we can make happen. So that's the end of what we have to say. I'd love to take some questions. You can type them. I don't think I'm going to unmute everybody, but type them. And if you want either Jess or Danielle or me to answer, then maybe just say, put our name at the beginning and then let us know what question you have. And if we don't have any questions, we'll just, close it down from here. And, I really hope that we hear how it's going and you share any good books you find with the rest of the group. So I'm looking at the chat. I'll give it a couple minutes here, see if anybody has anything or any books they've read that they love. I know Haley mentioned You Are a Badass. That one's a great one. That's one of my favorites. And Danielle and Jess, thank you for being on the call. Thank you, thank you. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions. So I really hope this was a helpful call for everyone. And have a great evening. All right, bye everybody.